Thank you. For the record, my name is Daniel Toscano, attorney at law. I have an office located at 62B Commercial Wharf East, Boston, Mass. 02110. I'm here to my left, Nicholas Leo. No relation to Nicole Leo, the president of Portland, but Nicholas Leo is the owner, the operator, and the proposed manager of the new Sushi Rock restaurant, which is going at 78 to 80 Salem Street, which is the former location of the Utanella Mozzarella restaurant, which was opened approximately a year or so. And today we're respectfully requesting your support for a transfer of a beer and wine with cordials license. There are three issues with the license. One is the actual transfer of the license. Second is the alteration of the premises. As this board may know, this petition was before us to go up one. So it was a one-story building. The one-story building, they increased it, created an additional story. So we need to change the license of the description of the license to include that second floor, so service can be done on the second floor. And the third petition that was filed with the City of Boston License Board was the closing hours. The existing license is at 11 o'clock closing hours, and we're proposing, the original proposal was 1 a.m. daily. However, after meeting with some of the abutters in the area, having our abutters meetings, there was a concern, especially with good neighbor hours operation, which is 11 during the weekday and 12 about midnight on the weekend. We have decreased the hours. They've submitted 11:30 on the weekday from Sunday to Wednesday, and we want Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 12:30 a.m. So those are the three issues that we're requesting your support tonight. To give you a little description of the premises, everybody I think is familiar with Utanella Mozzarella, which is a one-story restaurant. The one-story is going to be remain very similar. What's going to be added is approximately 28 seats. There's going to be a dining bar that has 10 seats, so 28 seats total, 18 seats on the floor, 10 at the dining bar. The upstairs is going to have approximately 54 seats, or 44 tables, chairs and tables, and another dining bar with approximately 10 seats. So approximately 82 seats, but on the license application you may see 85 seats. Tell you a little bit about Nick. Nick lives here at Commercial Wharf. He's a resident of the neighborhood. He's been in the restaurant business for many, many years. He's current owner and operator of Brickyard restaurant located in Wooden Square. It's a fully licensed, full alcohol license, and he's done a very good job there, very successful. And what we're hoping with this particular location, because this location has not had much success, we're hoping to make it a success. And I do think that the theme of the sushi bar and the sushi atmosphere and Asian restaurant is going to create for what the neighborhood has, the young business folks here, some of the students, some of the families, and create a new theme restaurant rather than an Italian restaurant here in the neighborhood. So we're here to answer any questions that the board may have.
Nicole, you want to tell us a little bit about the abutters?
We had the abutters meeting. We had a few abutters show up. There was concern about the closing hour, and I think that you addressed that. You cut back a little.
We cut back to half an hour. The issue is we want to be successful. This is why we understand that the neighborhood, the good neighbor agreement has 11 on the weekday and 12 on the weekend, but we want to be successful. There are a number of restaurants here in the neighborhood that have later closing hours beyond the midnight hour, and we want to be able to compete with that. Those restaurants, we want to be able to service the young professionals that don't want to go to the Faneuil Hall, be not stationed to, into a loud bar tavern, that want to come in for some good food, be able to stay out a little later, but not necessarily don't want to leave the neighborhood because they feel safe here in the neighborhood. That's why we want to stay at 12:30. And the other issue is they want to come back here 6 months, a year from now and say, hey, we want to increase the hours of operation. Because then the neighborhood's going to look at it and say, hey, you take a little, now you want a little bit more. We want to be honest, we want to be upfront, we want to tell you that we want to stay open until 1, but we're willing to come down and ask for 12:30. And we believe we have a responsible owner and a manager that's going to be on the premises 60 to 80 hours a week and working it. And he lives here in the neighborhood, he's aware of the concern, and we think it's going to be a great success. He's going to be a good neighbor.
Any restrictions on the license?
There are no restrictions on the license.
Questions?
Are you going to have open windows?
There are windows, yes, they are open. However, once you the Consumer Affairs Licensing Department regulates those when the windows close. So there is going to be a proposal for background music and 1 or 2 TVs. And don't quote me on the TVs because it hasn't been, the inside design hasn't been fully set yet. But once you get that entertainment license, Consumer Affairs will tell you 11 o'clock to shut the windows. And that should be on everybody's Consumer Affairs license.
So there's 2 bars on both floors. The top floor is just a dining bar.
They're
though?
both dining bars,
They're both dining
yes.
bars. Okay. So, wait, is the sushi, like, are they gonna be like cooking in the middle of
There's
it?
going to be, exactly, right behind the dining bar, there's going to be a chef.
Is it gonna be somebody cooking on both bars?
It's
Just
just
those
on the
seats
Well,
on
it's
the
just
bar?
the first floor.
This
Just
one's
the first one, the upstairs one is not a sushi bar, then it's a bar.
Yes,
Yes, it's a bar.
it's a bar, there's no,
What kind
there's
of
no
license you guys
chef.
have?
It's a CB's beer and wine with cordials.
Okay.
Doesn't it?
So in reality, how many seats do you have overall?
Overall, about 82,
How many seats are from, how many seats stem from the bar?
20.
So out of 84 seats, 20 overall, both floors?
Right.
It's
10
combined
10 on
20.
each.
So about 25% are at the bar. All right.
Anybody else?
Dan, what time are the surrounding restaurants open though?
Well, we know Goody Club is closed at 2.
it's a little bit
Barring that, the Vito's may have a 1 AM license. The rest of, you have Antigo Forno, you have Terramia. I believe the licenses may be a little long, but they do shut, they close at 11. And midnight for Urban Cantina. And I don't know about Vito's.
David?
Good evening, Mr. Leo. In your research for your restaurant proposal for the North End, did you happen to look, not to say that the North End is identical to any other neighborhood, obviously, that's not, but just to ask, do you happen to look around in other neighborhoods, not including Chinatown, to see how late those similar types of establishments stay open to, per their license?
I mean, I was just sitting there, I think what we're trying to do is provide something that's obviously not being met right now. You know, we're running a sushi restaurant. We'd like to be able to serve food late because, you know, like myself, a lot of times I get out of work late, I come back to the North End. My options are somewhat limited in some ways, unless I want to go have, you know, chicken parm or red sauce or something. There's really not a lot of options to be able to go somewhere. You just sit, relax, maybe have a drink or two, and, you know, eat something different than Italian food. So I guess for us to stay later, I'm not really sure if the need is 100% there yet, but I think some nights maybe it will be, and other nights it won't. So who knows, maybe 12 o'clock, 12:30 might be only 1 day a week once we get up and running. But the biggest thing is, what we don't want to see is if, you know, we have 1 or 2 nights, there's people there, they want to, you know, buy more food, maybe have a drink or 2, and then go home, and we're forced to tell them, sorry, you know, we can't. Please take your business somewhere else. So that's one of the big concerns. Because in the restaurant business, in order to make it, one of the most important things is when people are there and they want to give you money to buy your food, you have to, you know, be able to service it. Because many times, you know, if there's a snowstorm or this or that, you could lose sales for 3-4 days at a time. And that's money that never comes back. It's not like, oh, they'll come back another day. It's just, that money disappears. So we're just trying to set the hours to something we think is, you know, realistic, bearing in mind, you know, the neighborhood concerns with all the noise, and also to be able to service the customers in the event, you know.
Oh, no,
Oh,
it's
food, I mean, this is a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
It only has a beer, wine, cordials license. There's only so much you can do with that. I mean,
It's a
the whole
restaurant.
concept is designed around food.
Why are you putting a bar upstairs instead of tables? I mean,
I think the concept is nice. I think today's restaurants, what you see is a lot of new restaurants, up there, fancier restaurants. You see them putting the dining bars up in the restaurant. And people, a lot of folks like to come and sit at the bar area, with it, especially if they be a party or two, rather be it's a little more informal, sit at the bar, a little more conversation. So people enjoy it. And I think that's what we see in the neighborhood, and most restaurants have built these dining bars.
yeah, my only concern is that, you know, I'm in the same business that you're in. I just see a lot of bar. I don't see a lot of restaurant. I mean, that's my only you know, we have a lot of,
I have a question.
For a place that's a restaurant.
For bars, they're gonna be sushi bars, no alcohol in the bars, or both.
You can order a drink at the bar.
Probably got sushi bars, they
But the
put
first,
sushi, so you can
down-
order a drink
downstairs,
there too?
yes, downstairs on the first floor level, we'll have a chef. Yeah. Downstairs on the first floor, you will have a chef. On the second floor,
So the second floor is just a bar, you can
yeah,
order.
the second floor is not a chef, but you're gonna, it's a
No, I
dining.
understand that.
It's a
So the first
full
floor,
dining.
is gonna be full.
No, you can order, you're gonna be able to order alcohol and drinks throughout the entire restaurant.
No, I understand that, they're not gonna be making a drink, that's just for food, not first bar, on the first floor. Bar is a bar.
So there'll be sushi chefs there, there'll also be a bartender there as well.
I just.
How are you gonna do trash, daily pickup?
Contract with traffic
I
company.
don't have any contract yet, there will probably be daily pickup of whatever the ordinance requires.
The contract, yeah.
What's that? Haven't gone to contract yet. As you can see, they're still in the construction phase, and quite some time, we have some time to get it going, but in the restaurant business, there's ways that, you know, contract with a trash company, and daily, it's gonna be daily pickup, it's gonna be in the city-approved barrels that are closed lids, and we're gonna make sure that he doesn't put the barrels out until the end of the closing night, and that they don't sit out on the street during business hours.
Any butters here?
Yes,
What's your name and what's your address?
I'll go first. My name is Carolyn Conley. I live at 77 Salem Street. I've lived there since 1991, and prior to that, for 10 years, I was a resident of corner 2 Salem Street. So I've been on the street for close to 34 years. The restaurant is literally about 20 yards, maybe, from all of our bedrooms. And quite frankly, I'm a lawyer who's in the business of licensing restaurants, and I hate the fact that I'm standing up here. But I think the position that we're taking, especially I speak on behalf of my whole building, is that this particular applicant doesn't present a point of departure from the neighborhood agreement from what the times are at this point in time. Although we have seen a artist rendition, we haven't even seen a menu of what this proposed restaurant is supposed to be. You're not even seeing it now. But with all due respect to Mr. Leo, he is a 1/3 owner of this. I've reviewed the license application. The other 2 1/3 owners, and the Brickyard is a pub-style restaurant in Woburn that has karaoke. The other 2 owners, one has 2 restaurants that were defunct in 1997 in Worcester, and the other owner who I know is basically a nightclub owner. He owns, or his family owns interest in Rumor and most of the theater districts. So what we'd like to see as abutters is get a track record. I mean, come in here and do it. This is a quiet little section of Salem Street. I mean, from Neptune Oyster on down to where we are, all of the restaurants close at 11 o'clock at night. We, as everybody else in the neighborhood, has to deal with the people coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're very concerned with the trash there. You don't know how many nights we listen to, oh my God, look how big that rat is coming out of the park there. So, and most of the restaurants have put that in, but just the noise alone, we're just asking that please, let's have a track record here. We don't know what this restaurant's going to be. They don't have any kind of experience in the North End. I may be here 6 months to a year from now supporting you. I don't know, but I don't know what this operation is going to be like. And that's what we're asking for. I mean, Neptune Oyster, we love, we want it really there. We have no problem with Urban Cantina changing its format, but let's have a new restaurant come in, let's see what you have. And then maybe we'll be talking to you a year later about what it is. But right now, I mean, we want to go to bed at 11 o'clock just like everybody else, and midnight on the weekends. And again, I don't want any kind of restriction on the license. I don't really have a real problem with bar upstairs. I don't want any kind of, alcohol served only in conjunction with food, I think is something that doesn't work for most restaurant owners. But right now, the only thing that we have control over is the closing time. And we just want these people to come in and just show us that you have a good product, that you're a good operator, and our minds will be open. I think that, I like city living. I want to be here. I want to be in a vibrant neighborhood, but not yet for you guys. You know what I'm just saying? It's just, please give us a time.
What time would you like to see it closed?
Oh, I think that, I have no problem with 12 o'clock, all of that, and, 11 o'clock during the week, 12 o'clock. Do the good neighbor agreement. That's what the consensus is in the neighborhood, is a good starting time for starting business. That's why you have the good neighbor agreement, and that's why we're fully supported about it. And again, if they want to come back after good operators, I'll be the first one here at this meeting going, yes, please give them more time. But show us first. It's just that it's just not the Goody Glovers end, it's not the Baco end, it's that little quiet street. There are a lot of us who live there. We've lived there forever. Dominic and I have known each other since 1991. We all have. We have a nice little building there. And we have families. We're one of the few buildings in the neighborhood that, because of the 2-bedroom, 2-bath that we have in the parking space, that we actually get children. So again, I'm not against you. I don't want to be here saying anything against you. I just want to say, please, can we just establish a track record for a while for our restaurants that, and these guys don't have the experience here. I'm sorry, I've talked too much. But I
think what we're doing, and we've heard that everybody's loud and clear. Our hearing date is October 15th, so we're about a week away. I have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Leo, talk about the concerns of the neighborhood. He's very well aware of it, and we'll work that out. I'm asking for this board, as this is really a two-part application. Maybe we can vote on it in two parts, one for the transfer of the beer and wine license with the alteration of the license to include the second floor, and then you can vote, separate vote on the petition for the closing hour change.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Anybody else in the other part? What's your name?
Yeah.
Dominic Visignan, I'm also at 77 Salem Street. I'm here for myself, but I'm also one of the trustees of the building. I went to the zoning, licensing, and construction subcommittee meeting for the Residents Association a couple of weeks ago. So 2 points in addition to what Carol said. One is, you talked about competition, and we all understand that. We hope you're successful, because if you're successful, then it raises everybody's experience, let's say, on Salem Street. I think the issue with competition, though, is subtle, but there's two things. If you're competing as a sushi restaurant, I believe you have two competitors, Neptune and Rabia. I talked to Jeff in Neptune and asked what his hours are. They signed a good neighbor agreement. So they're done at 11 during the week and 12 on Friday and Saturday. Rabia is done sooner than that. Whether or not they signed a good neighbor agreement, I'm not sure. That's one competition, and so that's why we would ask that you adhere to the good neighbor agreement. The other competition is the bar scene. And I'm sorry, Salem Street is already a zoo on Friday and Saturday night, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Carolyn said the bedrooms are on the street. So I think that's one thing you have to address, and we ask that you adhere to the good neighbor agreement. The other thing is the days of the week. You're looking for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Mm-hmm. The good neighbor agreement is Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. for the added hour.
Most restaurants do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on a good neighbor. I think the licenses are usually licensed both Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sundays, you know, in our opinion, and really his experience, that it's a little quieter. We'd rather stay open a little later on Thursday.
Okay, well, both my points come back to the same thing. I won't go to the Residents Association meeting on Thursday, present the same issue, and that we ask that you have to sign, but you adhere to the good neighbor agreement. That's what we hope to.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Tatiana Yankelevich, 77 Salem Street. Been there, I'm the owner since 1991, and I'm a resident since 1993. And we have 12 apartments. Carolyn and Dominic already mentioned that. We have 12 apartments, all bedrooms face the street. The other establishments, Neptune and other, what was Arabia, yes. They don't have so highly packed residences across the street from them. And they're very narrow along their facade, so they don't get that much exposure. People, the other way around, people in those buildings on the opposite side of the street from them don't get so much exposure to whatever noise, which is very, very little that comes out of there. Here we have a long facade that's practically completely facing the facade of our building. It will create a very, it will be completely inconsiderate to the residents of our building. And we have gone through, in the last, let's say, 10 or so years, it has been an increasing, noise factor for everyone. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you have noticed that. And we put up with a lot. We put up with, screaming, fighting, to the point of having to call the police, or having to threaten people that I'm going to call the police if you don't stop and take your business elsewhere. We bear the obscenities that we hear. I'm on the second floor, hear them very well, and I'm not comfortable with that. So there has been a steady increase of all of this type of business in the night after 1 p.m. I don't know if it's the staff, all the personnel of those establishments, or if it is those young professionals that the business that the Sushi Rock plans to cater to. But it has to stop somewhere. We have to put up and down. It has to be 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock for Friday and Saturday. So I'm in complete agreement with other people at our building.
Name and address?
Carmine Rulo from 3 Unity Street. Though I'm not a direct abutter, I am right around the corner from there. I guess just 2 quick points. I know we are short for time. If I could just get a little clarification on what the concept is. What I heard before, and then it seems like it was a little either misunderstood or misconstrued. It's a restaurant that serves alcohol, right?
Yes.
And the bars, which if I understand correctly, are primarily to serve food at.
Yeah, I mean, people will sit and eat, if they want to have a couple drinks.
Right.
It's really no different than sitting in a chair.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I think that's an important distinction. And then I guess just the other thing that I will point out, I think, as neighbors, I understand you want to see a track record and see people coming in and being a good neighbor. Owning a building in a separate part of town in Beacon Hill, I'm directly next to a commercial property where we've had 3 restaurants in 5 years come in and fail. And it's much more disruptive having places shut down and then having to go before this once again. I like the concept. It's something different for the neighborhood. If the owner believes that a little extra on, I think, just a Thursday night, if I understand correctly, will help business, I think it's worth us listening to.
Yeah, just one little point.
Sorry, we have to move on.
Okay.
You had your hand up.
Sure. I live at Mariner, Granby Commercial, but also, so not sure if I'm directly as close as they are, obviously, but I think I could speak for a lot of people of the same age as me who live in the North End who would frequent a place like this, and I know Nick, and I know he's a good guy. But my points were really that the type of place that he would be bringing in, that crowd, wouldn't be the yelling, screaming crowd. They're not the type of folks that go to a sushi restaurant. Salem Street has obviously gotten a lot louder over the years. I hate to see Nick punished for that, and I do think in order for his company to be successful, he is going to need a little bit of these later hours, because a lot of people my age, I'm mid-30s, professional and things, we go out later. I mean, to go out and get dinner at 10, 10:30 is not an unusual thing. We're certainly not going to bed at 11 o'clock, and so it's just a question of, do you want the noise in the restaurant, or do you want to have it leaving and going to other places? And just from my experience with other people in the North End, the proposed idea that in my Facebook page, for other North End people, I got almost 75 likes from people who were like, wow, this is a great idea, the North End's got nothing like this. So that was just points.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we really have to end it. Somebody make a motion to vote. All right, so we'll, everybody take out your ballots and we'll vote. And then we'll announce that at the end of the meeting. That's the secretary. All right, you're up for,
Well, what's the vote?
we're gonna.
Oh, it's not the end.
Yeah, you missed the beginning.
Sorry.
It's on both.
Oh, okay.
The transfer with the new premises and the 12:30.
Okay.
11:30.
Thank you.
All right, so now.
All right.
Okay, so Sushi Rock LLC, 7880 Salem Street, Nicholas Leo, no relation to Nicole, is seeking the transfer of a CV 7-day malt in line with liquor license from Cucinella Mozzarella Bar Inc. to Sushi Rock LLC, an extension of the closing hours from 11 o'clock p.m. to 12:30, which we've amended on the weekends on our ballot. So Attorney Dan Ciscano. So number one, we're going to read the transfer of license first. So Gennaro Riccio support. And what? What do you mean? You don't want me to read it? Okay. Transfer of license was 10-0. Everybody supported it. So that passes. Congratulations. And then in the matter of the closing hour, we have, okay, it's a 6 to 4 in support for the closing hour to be 12:30. Council members that supported it: Gennaro Riccio, Ralph Verocchi, Ann Devlin Tagliaferro, Ryan Kenny, Maria Lanza, and Jessica Della Russo. Neighborhood councilors that opposed this were George Mendoza, John Pregman, Marie Simboli, and David Mounts. That's it, 6 to 4.
Don't forget to vote November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you.
You hungry?